welcome back to another video. Here we are in Kugane about to accept the quest that will take us straight to the Blades of Gunnhildr. So this is going to be us finally getting down to doing the upgraded weapons part of the game for Shadowbringers, and it's called Hail to the Queen. Judging by the look of relief on Keaton's face, you have saved him a great deal of time. My lady, what auspicious timing. I intended to send a message to the Rising Stones, but it seems that is no longer necessary. Master Hancock wishes to speak with you regarding a matter of grave import. I can but imagine what other duties yet demand your attention. Still, he would request you meet him at the Ruby Bazaar at your earliest convenience. Alright, so let's go see Hancock. It's been a while since we saw that sleazy little man. I kind of miss him, to be honest. But at least we don't have to go too far, right? Alright, so let's go in here and see what he has to do. So I did not expect Hancock to be the one to kind of introduce us to getting these brand new weapons, but you know, now that I mention it, then maybe I shouldn't be surprised. And so she returns at last. From what Tataru has told me, you've come rather a long way, to put it mildly. And while the Scions remained locked in slumber, she sought aid from all corners of the realm. In fact, it was I to whom she first turned when searching for a champion to assist her in your absence. Though as you have no doubt surmised, I did not call you here to discuss such matters. I have received word from Lord Hien that the Bozja Resistance, our comrades in the Eastern Alliance, seek the aid of distinguished heroes in their fight against the Empire, and naturally your name immediately sprang to mind. Yes, I didn't realize they were part of the Eastern Alliance. But the Bozja Resistance, you say? Indeed, from a small nation found in the southern reaches of Ishabar to the west of Dalmasca, they were no doubt among the first to fall to the Empire. Yet it would seem their hearts have yet to give way to despair, and with the Empire now in disarray, they would seize the opportunity to fight back. If you would know the details in full, I think it best you speak with Lord Hien. His endless list of commitments make him a hard man to find, however, so perhaps you can have one of his attendants at the House of the Fierce track him down for you. Interesting. Alright, so let's head to the House of the Fierce. You know something? He does have a link pearl, right? Can he not just call us up and let us know? But then again, if we let people do that all the time, we'd never get a moment's rest again. And... Greetings, my lady. Lord Hien has been expecting you. When word reached us from the Bozja Resistance, Lord Hien knew at once there was but one woman to whom he could turn. He left to the coattails not long ago. The view of Doma Castle helps to calm his mind. This way, if you please. Alright, so let's go on after him. So, I think this is already kind of just setting things up for perhaps what might be for the next expansion for 6.0. I don't want to say anything yet, but so far everything is kind of shaping up to kind of let us finally go into like the Empire's lands and kind of put a stop to like the Empire once and for all. At least that's kind of the picture I'm getting from this. This way, atop the broken bridge. He'll be most glad for your arrival. Do you remember when first we shared a view of this castle together? Still, under the Garlean's control, perhaps, yet for all their wickedness, its beauty would not so easily be sullied. It is good to see you, my friend. You must forgive me for foregoing pleasantries, but our guest here is in dire need of your help. Marsak of the Bozja Resistance. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. As you've no doubt already heard from Lord Hien, my people seek to reclaim our homeland from the Empire. Under his auspices, and that of the Eorzean Alliance, we aim to do just that. However, we recently received word that the 4th Imperial Legion has been making plans of their own. It has long held the provinces of Yaxia, Dalmasca, and Bozja in an iron grip, using its Dalmascan headquarters to house the bulk of its forces. Until recently, that is. They appear to be diverting resources and manpower to their forces stationed in Bozja. In fact, 3 battalions are en route as we speak. We thought perhaps to strike before they can fully assemble, but the Bozja Resistance lacks the means to drive them off on its own. Aid from the Dalmascan resisting groups may have sufficed. Sadly, even Fran of the Lente's Tears have been unable to bring an end to their infighting. All hope is not lost, however, for Lord Hien has made a most intriguing proposal. An idea not my own, I must confess. We have our old friend Gosetsu to thank. As the Empire tightened its grip on Doma, our people were at a crossroads. Would they lay down and surrender, or stand up and fight? You sought me out, that I could become the spark that lit the fire of rebellion. The same must be done for the Bozjans. They require a standard under which they can rally, a symbol of hope to steel them for what is to come. Lacking a living figurehead such as Lord Hien, my comrades and I looked to our nation's past for inspiration. There we found the answer we sought, Gunnhildr's blades. They were an elite guard of Queen Gunnhildr, possessed of weapons blessed by the gods. Their exploits would become legend after defending our peoples against the Allagons in the Third Astral Era. The strength of their steel was matched only by their dedication to the Queen. Should one lose their life in her service, their holy blades was then passed on to its successor. In time, their title would lend itself to the most renowned of their weaponry, the gunblade. But in truth, each member of her guard was master of a unique weapon. Though these sacred relics have been lost to time, I would see them forged anew. Armed thus, our people would know no fear, and drive back our oppressors just as Queen Gunnhildr did the Allagons. An admittedly lofty and otherwise unattainable goal for one such as I, which is why I have traveled far and wide in search of great minds and greater heroes who might lend us their aid. We would be honored to have one of your renown at our side. We value the Bozjans' commitment to the cause, and I would see their plans come to fruition. Unfortunately, duty demands that I remain here. I could not in good conscience leave knowing the Empire yet threatens the border to Alamigo. Should you choose to accompany him to Bozja, might I ask you also act as a representative of the Eastern Alliance in my stead? I'll do what I can, but I make no promises. Thank you, my friend. If there is aught else you require of the Eastern Alliance, you need only ask. Safe travels to you both. Really, Yugiri, we didn't hear you say a word. That's not like you. An airship to our base has been prepared for us at the Enclave's dock. I hope to see you there soon. Alright, next one is called Path to the Pass. Marsek is ready to depart. When you finish your preparations, meet me at the dock, and we can be on our way. I know we could probably teleport there. Oh no, we can't really, can we? Okay. Well, we'll just end up flying. Yes, I finally have one of my little dragon mounts. This one was particularly annoying to get. But hey, I managed to get it in the end at long last after beating Titania for like 99 times. But I digress. Yeah, so I have this little dragon as well as the one from Innocence. Which means I still have to get the ones from both the Ruby Weapon and from Hades Extreme. I wasn't able to... So right now I am working on Hades Extreme, so I got about 34 there. Not bad, especially since you do earn 2 totems for every victory. So yeah, it's going to be a lot easier, hopefully. But I'm rambling on. Okay, so let's find him at the docks. There he is. Oh wait, I could have just teleported straight to the Enclave. Oh well, what can you do? I mean, hey, if nothing else, it got me a chance to show off my cute little dragon mount, right? So I wonder what this whole round's gonna be like. Our destination is Gongos, the Resistance present base of operation. To ensure we remain unnoticed by the Empire, this ship is one of the few permitted to travel twixt Doma and the other provinces. Should you have need to travel to Gongos in the future, I ask you come here to do so. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I wish I had a map. Coming aboard, miss? Yes, I am. I do wish I had like a whole map of the whole world here, just so I know exactly where we are, because I've never heard of Gangos before. That we should play host to the liberator of Doma and Alomigo herself. I did not think you could be persuaded to help us. Bad Saladin, leader of the Bozja Resistance. Not the best choice for the job, if I'm to be frank, but I will bear the title all the same. Bloody hells, man, you won't inspire much confidence speaking like that. Ha ha ha, you're quite right, Master Geralt. While you're here, won't you come and welcome our guest? Huh? What in the seven hells are you doing here? Eorzean's greatest hero and our finest blacksmith. With the two of you here, our plan is sure to succeed. With that Queen Gunnhildr, we're here to witness this. Oi, Claire, just between us, I'm only here to pay off me debts to that black-hearted snake Rowena. She's been selling supplies to the Resistance, and they happened to mention that they were in need of a smithy, so she went and told him I'm the greatest bleeding smithy in the realm, with skills that put Brigott himself to shame. Can't rightly say I'm even half of what she claimed, but I'll do me damnness. They're happy to ply me with good grub and even better booze, so play along, will ye? Alright, I've heard stranger requests. Now that you're both here, I believe it's time our plans be made clear. Missaja? Yes, of course. Our goal is to reforge the weapons wielded by Gunnhildr's blades. Simple in principle, less so in execution. The weapons themselves and most of the text denoting their history of Her Majesty and her guard were lost to the devastation of the Fourth Umbral Calamity. That said, we have managed to obtain certain pieces of information, and coupled with Master Geralt's knowledge and expertise, we have made great strides in reproducing these vaunted Blades of Eld. We worked out the manner of weapons they wielded, their shape and weight, even the materials needed for me forge. But we learned bugger all about what gives them spirit. It is said that Queen Gunnhildr etched a holy inscription into each blade, thus granting them the power of the gods. Unfortunately, no record of any such engravings remain, but there is still hope. Though not but pale imitations, there once existed replicas which may very well have borne these inscriptions. Alas, they were lost when Bozja Citadel fell. Do you know of the Bozja incident? Yes, I do, though admittedly I do not recall it in detail. That a worldly adventurer such as yourself would know of this is of no surprise. If I may, I would share the tragic tale of our homeland. 15 summers past, the Garleans were conducting experiments, seeking a means to make contact with the lesser moon Dalamud. They believed the satellite to be possessed of immense power, and a lunar transmitter was erected in the hopes of harnessing it. But when the transmitter was activated and the signal sent, Dalamud responded with an immense blast of raw energy. The destruction wrought defied reckoning. The citadel, the relics of Queen Gunnhildr's kingdom, naught was left but smoke and ash. Hope ain't lost yet, though. The citadel's been wiped off the bloody map. I bet there's still a way for us to find those inscriptions, or so I've been told. An explanation better left to one far more knowledgeable than I. Oh, it's her. I remember her. Hey, Makoto, it's been a while. And I can't move. Oh man, this place is small. A lot smaller than I thought it would be. It's good to see you again, Claire, though I had hoped to accomplish more before your arrival. I'm sure your help will be as invaluable now as it was aboard the Prima Vista. You are far too kind. If not for your heroism, Ramza and Alma would have... From the onset of our endeavor, it was abundantly clear that one verse in etherology would be essential. We relayed this to the Alliance, who then introduced us to Makoto. She is said to be one of the most brilliant minds among the students of Baldessian. And yet it is my inaptitude that demands your presence here. I was all but certain that Gerald and I alone would suffice in this. Alas. The matter she speaks of concerns a long-forgotten practice of the holy men who once inhabited these lands. Utilizing uniquely aspected crystals, these seers were able to produce succor for those with ailments of the mind. They possess the ability to shape their very memories, removing those deemed harmful and replacing them, that the patient may find some semblance of peace. I too dismiss the notion that such practices could exist. That is, until a recent excavation unearths compelling evidence of their work, the crystals we believe were using in their healing. Unfortunately, we were unable to discern how they are meant to be used. It was at this juncture that we petitioned for Makoto's assistance. Well, lass, made any progress? My initial analysis suggests the crystals were artificially created at some point in the distant past. The materials used suggest that they were most likely produced by the ancestral peoples of this area. What's more, their etheric signature is strikingly similar to the oscillatory activity of brainwaves, which, when made to resonate with the distant frequency NRR-type harmonic vibrations of an individual's... I've done it again, haven't I? I think a simpler approach is in order. Every living being is comprised of corporeal ether of the flesh, incorporeal ether of the soul, and the ethereal residue of their memories. Were one to be possessed of only corporeal ether, they would be but a walking corpse. Conversely, entities comprised only of the incorporeal ether are referred to in layman's terms as ghosts. In either case, they may also retain some of their residual memories. Aye, zombies and ghosts, I follow. These crystals are able to isolate and resonate within the ethereal signature of memories. This allowed the seer to probe the minds of their patients. That's all well and good, lass, but what if their mind ain't what it used to be, or they were just too deep in their cups to remember what you're looking for? An excellent question, Master Gerald. We all possess of two types of memories, explicative and implicative. As their name suggests, explicative memories refer to an active remembrance of previous experiences, while implicative memories are acquired and stored passively. For example, when making a new acquaintance, their appearance will become part of your explicative memory, allowing you to recall that information. Should a great deal of time pass without meeting, however, such recollection can prove difficult. Yet in that moment, your mind also takes record of the sounds and smells of the location, the temperature, and so on. Perhaps a demonstration would be better explain this phenomenon. Without a seer? Thankfully, that will not be necessary. When I was first told of the seers and their practices, I was immediately reminded of your ability to peer into the past. I believe these people were blessed with a similar gift, and it is for this reason they were chosen to serve as seers. Though I too am possessed of the Echo, wow, that's new, I lack the ability to peer into the past as you do, and thus have been unable to wield the power of these crystals. That's why we called you here. Until now I could do naught but post such theories. With your help, however, I may now put them to the proof. And you, Master Geralt, shall be my first test subject. Claire, I would like you to recall the last time you experienced the Echo. Concentrate on that feeling. Master Geralt, I need you to recall a memory of the past. It may be anything you like. You better not go poking around in there, digging up something unsavory like, you hear, lass? Please, Master Geralt, focus. This is most unexpected. For reasons I cannot yet explain, it appears the Echo has allowed me to accompany you into his memory. You're a skilled smith, Geralt, there's no denying that, but you hold money about as well as you hold your liquor. Well, what bloody good is money if you can't spend it? A man has to live a little, Rowena. Aye, and it wouldn't hurt for a man to use his head neither. With all that talent of yours, I reckon you could have amassed a small fortune by now. Could have been you sitting on the syndicate instead of old Galbert. As if I ever want to be anything like that doddering old half-dressed. Didn't realize my memory was so sharp. As you can see, implicit memory is surprisingly comprehensive. From the clear skies and ocean waves down to the exact words of your conversation, everything appears to have been perfectly preserved. Ye weren't listening to that, were ye? Every time someone gives you good advice, you turn around and do the complete sodding opposite. I used to like that rebellious streak of yours, but now I see you're just a bloody idiot. Honestly, I don't know what I ever saw in you. Whatever it is you think you saw, it ain't as if I changed since then. And ye haven't either. Still as beautiful as the day we met. Whoa, hold a minute, I never said anything like that. I swear on me last mug of ale. Implicit memories, while quite comprehensive, are not always true to fact. In the case of painful or otherwise undesirable experiences, they can be obfuscated to protect oneself from hard truths. Our perception of reality can also distort them as well, even when first committed to the mind. Then, as time passes, such distortions can grow. Happy memories become more joyous, sad ones all the more bitter. Explicit memory is particularly sensitive to such misrepresentations of events, for man is wont to remember what is most convenient for his worldview. That is why we seek the implicit, for there we are most like to find the truth. The truth? Rowena and me were only here a week ago. Don't tell me my memory is that bleeding unreliable. A self-imposing delusion, perhaps, as I said before. The mind has ways of concealing painful memories. I ain't feeling so well, if you'll excuse me. As you can see, these crystals allow us to choose specific points in a person's past to observe at will. Unlike the echo, however, what we see will not always be as it really was. And yet there still remains the matter of finding one who has seen the replica weapons and their inscriptions. At this present juncture, we might as well be looking for a ghost. After the Garlean invasion of Bozja, it was all but cut off from the world. None were allowed in or out, meaning all of its residents, and likely any who may have glimpsed the weapons, died when the citadel was destroyed. What about the soldiers stationed there who were away at the time of the incident? Bah, even if we were able to find them, I doubt they could be persuaded to cooperate. No, please! Lord Varus! No! What was that? You saw it too. My visions, they are not of what has come to pass, but what is yet to be. Could it be the crystal allowed us to share my vision as well? Makito, Claire, are you two all right? Cid? Cid Garland? Son of the monster behind the Meteor Project? Come to think of it, Yugiri mentioned the Doma and Eorzean Alliance have been receiving support from Garland Ironworks. I thought the company should use such a moniker mere happenstance, but you mean to say Cid Garland owns this company? The son of Midas Dan Garland lives. He must be summoned at once. If he was at the Citadel prior to its destruction, it's quite possible he may have seen the replicas. Fate is indeed a cruel mistress, pinning our hopes on a Garlean, the git of that bastard Midas, no less. Is there truly no other way? Vagilation, please. Very well. I only hope our fallen comrades can forgive us. Please bring us this Cid Garland, for the people of Bozja, for all of Ishabar. That was a big surprise for me because, I knew that not everyone has the same kind of powers with the Echo as others. It's always a little bit different for everyone. But I had no idea that the Echo could be used to see the future. Is that really a thing? They call it the Echo because I thought that you could see into the past with it. Like the echoes of visions from the past, but this is... When did they add this? That you should know Cid Garland is hardly surprising. I only hope he is not so engrossed in his work that he cannot find time to assist us. I will not keep you, unless of course there is something you wish to ask me. Oh wow! Tell me about the 4th Imperial Legion. The initial invasion of Bozja was led by Bozja van Gargabrand. There would be a change of commander not long after, however. 30 years ago, during the invasion of Dalmasca, his health took an unexpected turn for the worse, and his son, Noah van Gargabrand, oversaw the conquest to its completion. He was a mere 28 years old when he assumed full command. The 4th Imperial Legion itself is rather unique compared to most, for the bulk of their forces are not native Garleans, their present leader included. Both Noah and his father were quite quick to bend the knee to Emperor Solus, from what I have been told. Perhaps it was that ardent loyalty that helped them to rise to such prominence. But not all were such fervent followers of the Empire. Quite the contrary, I would hazard that the greater part of their soldiers were like us, seeing little recourse but to serve lest they be put to the sword. Though I suppose the unwavering loyalty of the 4th Imperial Legion is what serves to set it apart from the rest. Or to be more precise, its loyalty to Noah van Gargabrand. What's more, you will come to find they are not wont to rely on magitech armaments like most Imperial soldiers. Indeed, they seem to prefer fighting the old-fashioned way, employing arcane magics, techniques akin to summoning, and all manner of feral beasts rather than depending on heavy artillery. Though if recent reports are to be believed, these will be the least of our concerns. The battalions en route to Bozja are said to be led by Lion Salas Helsolus. He is a strategist whose cunning is matched only by his renown as a tamer of beasts, and it is rumored that he alone is worth more than 1,000 rank-and-file troops. One might say he has history with the Resistance. Tell me about the Legatus Noah van Gargabrand. Ah yes, the leader of the 4th Imperial Legion, one of the youngest to ever take such a position. His father, Bozja van Gargabrand, served as legatus before him, claiming many a victory in the name of the Empire. Bozja was a knight of the Republic of Landis, which, like so many other nations, was fast to fall at the hands of the Empire. Rather than die with dignity, he was quite quick to bend the knee to their conquerors, integrating himself with the Emperor and earning his place as a legatus. This was quite a feat, given that he was not of Garlean blood. One can but imagine the lengths to which he went to earn their trust, but it is clear he labored hard to keep it. His health took an unexpected turn for the worse during the invasion of Dalmasca, which afforded Noah the opportunity he needed to rise to prominence, and it was under Noah's leadership that Rabanastre would fall. Then, when his father passed 2 years later, he was named the next legatus of the 4th Imperial Legion. Many believe it was the conquest of Dalmasca that earned him the position, but some argue he was appointed on the recommission of the Emperor, perhaps in recognition of his father's service to the Empire. Regardless of the reason, Noah would continue in his father's footsteps. The 4th Imperial Legion would continue to be comprised primarily of foreign soldiers, and their loyalty to the newly appointed legatus was unfaltering. One might expect such a legion to remain within the Emperor's good graces, but it would not be so when Varus took the throne. For several years he appointed them to the quelling of uprisings in remote provinces, as if to keep them at arm's length. Perhaps he suspected an ulterior motive to the Gagabrands seeking to gain such fervent adoration from the 4th Imperial Legion. I have no proof, of course, but one cannot help but wonder. Tell me of the castrum Lacros Latori. It was once known as Amamut Fortress, erected in the hopes of deterring the Garleans. After the Bozja incident, it would be rebuilt and given a new name, Castrum Lacros Latori. Its position to the north of Bozja will make it a critical strategic point in the battles to come. If we are to have any hope of reclaiming Bozja, we must first gain control of the castrum. The location was originally chosen for its natural defenses. Being surrounded on all sides by steep cliffs made Armament's fortress all but impregnable, assuming of course one had the herewithal to defend it. When the Garleans came, their Magitech weaponry was unlike anything we had ever seen. A great many lives were lost in our struggle to hold the fortress. In the end, we were simply outmatched. At present, the castrum is held by Legatus Galgabrand's second-in-command, Minimenesis Rim Lenatius. An interesting choice to say the least. Lenanitis is a well-known family with a long and austere lineage. That is until they incurred the ire of the Emperor, tarnishing their name and robbing them of their position in Garlean society. And yet, Boschvan Gargabrand would choose members of their family to serve under him, and mayhap he sensed their desperation to redeem their honor. If that is the case, the road to redemption is long indeed, for 2 generations of Lenatis have served under the Gargabrands. Imagine the recognition they would receive for thwarting our attempts to take the fortress. You can be sure he will do all in his power to stop us. Tell me about yourself. I serve primarily as liaison twixt the Bozja Resistance and our allies. I'll not deny there is still much for me to learn, but I will do everything within my power to see Bozja free of the Empire. If that should mean my life, then so be it. You wish to know of my past? It's no different than most, I would imagine. Conscription by the Emperor, which is the only reason I was not present in the Citadel to die alongside my kin in the Bozja incident. Some would call it a massacre planned by the Empire, but I am not ready to believe they would willingly kill so many of their own soldiers and engineers. Having been raised under the Garlean doctrine, I realize that not all of them are bloodthirsty monsters many of us would paint them to be. Though the Empire would seek to oppress us, I do not share the same animosity towards its citizens as Resistance comrades. But these are musings better left between the two of us, yes? I would not have the others think me a coward or traitor to our cause. Okay, so let's talk to you then. The son of Midas Nan Garland, an imperial deserter. My, what curious company we keep. Forgive me, is there naught you need? Tell me about Queen Gunnhildr. During the Third Astral Era, Queen Gunnhildr united the fragmented tribes of the Hrothgar to rise up and drove off the Allagans, eventually going on to found the nation of Bozja. It should be noticed that Gunnhildr was not her name, but rather a title bestowed to the current monarch of any given age. The common thread connecting all rulers of Bozja is their ability to read the stars. There were others who shared this ability, but they were said to be the greatest seers of their respective ages. They were also said to be great warriors. When doing battle with the Allagans or any other would-be invaders, the queen could always be found commanding them at the front lines. Alas, Bozja would fall in the wake of the Fourth Umbral Calamity. By some miracle, some few survived and were able to build what we knew as the city-state of Bozja. Tell me about Gunnhildr's blades. They were the elite guard of the queen, masters of meanded arms and magic, said to be the greatest warriors of their age. Their combat prowess was matched only by their devotion to Queen Gunnhildr. They would not hesitate to give their lives in her service, and should one of these warriors fall in battle, their holy blade would be passed on to a suitable successor. Over time, their title as Gunnhildr's blades would become synonymous with the gunblade, which gained more renown during the war against the Allagans. There is not a Bozjan alive who does not know the tales of their heroism. I have no doubt reforging these weapons will lend us both the strength and resolve we need to succeed. Tell me about the weapons you plan to forge. With Master Geralt's help, we have nearly all that is required to reforge the weapons of Queen Gunnhildr's guard. While it is true the legends of their might are truly inspiring, to simply call them the Blades of Gunnhildr would do little to differentiate these new armaments from the weapons of Eld. After all, we do not wish to give the impression that the originals have been recovered. After much thought, Master Geralt offered a simple and surprisingly satisfactory suggestion of resistance weapons. He also went on to make a rather curious remark about the steps to be taken in their forging, that these weapons can be enhanced further in accordance with the enemies one faces. By the sounds of it, these weapons are never truly complete until their purpose is fulfilled. Tell me about yourself. It's been 2 years since I joined the Resistance. Before then, I lived as all Bozjans did, under the harsh rule of the Empire. It was the only life I had ever known, but my parents often spoke to me of what they remembered from the days of Bozja's independence. Though it was under the auspices of our Garlean oppressors, I was educated in prehistoric archaeology. While I am thankful for the opportunities it afforded me, I could not turn a blind eye to the suffering of my people, and so I left to join the Resistance. It was I who proposed to reforging the fabled weapons of Queen Gunnhildr's guard, and Bozja Resistance has chosen to place his faith in my plan. I take heart in knowing all I learned from the Empire will be put to good use. Oh, okay, and there's Makoto over there. We'll see what she has to say real quick. Our exploration of Master Gerald's memories was a success, largely in part to his trust in you, I suspect. And how fortunate for us that you should also be a good acquaintance of Cid's. I'm sure there is much you must do to prepare, so I will not keep you. Was there something else? Oh no! Well, I almost have to do it now. Tell me about the Seers. Scant though they are, the records we have uncovered thus far suggest the practices of Seers date back as far as the 4th Astral Era. The region was plagued with all manner of natural disasters in those days, inciting great unrest not only amongst the Bozjans, but neighboring nations as well. It was during these tumultuous times Seers first appeared. In fact, I have reason to believe they possessed the Echo. Using the crystal focus, they were able to delve into the minds of the downcast and the heartsick, seeking out their darkest memories and altering them to ease the people's burdens. Perhaps they saw the alterings of minds as a necessity for their survival, but we must consider the ethical implications of such methods in this day and age. I have no doubt my betters in Sharlayan would consider it to be reprehensible. Tell me about the crystal focus. My initial analysis of the crystals suggests they are man-made. Nothing in my data can prove the materials are unique to this region, which leads me to believe the Bozjans, or rather the Seers, created them. However, given the intricate lattices found in these crystals, it seems highly improbable that the Bozjans could have produced them, considering the methods available to them in the 4th Astral Era. In fact, on closer inspection, it became clear that its structure is quite similar to that found in Allagan constructs. Which then begs the question, who were the Seers, and whence did they come? This is but a working theory, but I suggest their roots can be traced back to the Allagans themselves, perhaps survivors of the 4th Umbral Calamity who wished to atone for the sins of their forebears. They came to these lands seeking a means to help the Bozjans, and in so doing created these crystal foci. As I said, 'tis but a working theory, though I understand if it sounds more like a flight of fancy. Tell me about memory exploration. Perhaps I should start with a simple explanation, as I did before. Let us consider the composition of a person's ether, shall we? There is corporeal ether of the flesh, incorporeal ether of the soul, and the ethereal residue of an individual's memories. Were one to be possessed of only corporeal ether, they would be but a walking corpse. Conversely, entities comprised only of incorporeal ether are referred to in layman's terms as ghosts. Of course, a ghost that possesses residential memories could likely recall its past and retain self-awareness. Using a crystal focus, we can isolate the ethereal signatures of memories, much in the same way that the Seers did. We can then dive into and explore specific memories conjured by the subject. We must be careful of what we observe, however, for while the information stored in a person's memories can be quite comprehensive, it is not always true to fact. They can be distorted due to the passage of time, or even when first committed to the mind as a result of personal bias. This is why it is important to mark the distinction between explicit and implicit memories. Explicit memories are those consciously stored and recalled, while implicit memories are more passively accumulated by our subconscious. When meeting someone for the first time, their appearance will be kept as part of our explicit memory, though this may fade with the passage of time. Should a great deal of time pass without meeting, however, such recollection can prove difficult. Yet in that moment, your mind also takes record of everything experienced by your sensory nervous system. Unfortunately, information called from explicit memory is quite sensitive to misrepresentations of events. After all, if an individual is actively choosing to recall an event, who is to say they will not make alterations to better suit their liking? That is why we seek information from implicit memories, which is more likely to be preserved free of the bias of an individual's worldview. Tell me about your gift. The echo can manifest itself in myriad ways dependent on the individual. I was gifted with the ability to peer into the future. It is a power much like prophetic dreams and divinations, and yet quite different, for such visions only tell of the future's potential. The echo does not show me what may happen, but what will happen. Scholar speculates Bezala Thousand Eyes too shared this gift, hence the alarming accuracy of the passages written in her divine chronicles. These visions are a decidedly rare occurrence, usually containing some crucial insight into matters presently unfolding before me. For better or worse, I have never had visions of an impending threat on my life or those around me. Not that I would want to see such things, of course. Could you imagine knowing of certain doom that cannot be avoided? I once spoke of my visions to an acquaintance, a relatively harmless glimpse of the future, and it resulted in a terrible argument. I fear I could not bear the weight of grimmer tidings. But that is neither here nor there. My gift is but a trivial thing, nothing you should think to rely upon. Tell me about yourself. About me? Oh, there really isn't much to tell, I assure you. Well, if you must know, due to an advanced placement, I found myself attending the studium much earlier than most. My research in the field of etherology would eventually earn me the title of Archon. While I am not conducting research in the field, I conduct lectures at the studium. Moonbrita was my mentor. I would not be the scholar I am today if not for her. I have fond memories of the many nights we toiled together working on her original plans for the etheric siphon. She was like a sister to me. Speaking of which, I do have a sister actually. An identical twin in fact, though we have not spoken since she too was named an Archon. She was my better in all aspects of academia, but she often disagreed with the views of the forum. I can but assume that is why she took her leave of the studio. She was always so strong-willed and quite critical of those around her. Sadly, we never got along very well growing up. I often wonder if this is why Moonbrita was so quick to take me under her wing. I still see her, in my dreams, always offering a warm smile and words of encouragement. If we were to use the crystal focus, perhaps there would be a way to speak with her again. A tempting prospect, but in the end, I know it would not truly be her. Interesting. I had no idea. I do not imagine he sympathizes with our plight, but from what I gather, he has no love for the Empire either. If that will suffice in persuading him to aid us, then so be it. I hear that the engineer is stationed at Ralgar's Reach. Perhaps you can begin your search for Garland there. That's very interesting because like I said, I had no idea you could see the future with the Echo. I mean, I sometimes thought about it, but I didn't actually believe that they could actually come out and say that, yes, you can see into the future, but it doesn't seem like she has that much control over it. I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, Claire doesn't have any control over her version of the Echo, but it looks like she only gets tiny glimpses of the future that's going to come. So I am really concerned about with Cid there, so I have no idea what's going to happen with Cid, but judging from the trailer, it can't be good. And she has an identical twin? Like, really? I mean, what is the deal with, like, twins, like, going to the studium here? And that they're complete opposites, really? So where am I supposed to go here? Oh, okay, we're supposed to go there. An Ironworks engineer. Looks like a Vieira. Haven't seen her before. At least I don't think so. Say, aren't you Claire, saver of Eorzea, liberator of Alamigo, so on and so forth? The name's Laja, newest recruit to the Ironworks. What can I do for you? We're looking for Cid. Do you know where he is? The chief? Too busy by half, according to Jesse. Between you and me, though, I think it's a load of... Oh, do go on. A load of what? I was saying, what a load off your shoulders it must be, knowing the chief is back from whatever he was doing. Speaking of whom, Claire said she wanted to speak with him about... What was it again? God's damn it, Laja! You might hear better than most, but you're a terrible listener. Would you mind starting again from the beginning? Yeah, so this is probably going to be very difficult to explain. I see. Well, you just missed him. Serious wall is due for maintenance, and he has a mind to oversee it personally. That said, any matters concerning you are top priority. I'll see if I can reach him. I take it this is an average day for you. Must be hard, always having to pull on a brave face as you're thrust into danger, people tugging you this way and that like some sort of errand girl. Not that we don't appreciate what you do for us. Goodness knows I do. In fact, well, you see, I'm something of a fan. I knew the Ironworks worked with you on occasion, but I didn't think I'd have a chance to meet you in person. Can I shake your hand? Sure. The job. Cid being back took a load off my shoulders, not yours. Don't you have work to do? All right, work. Duty calls, but hopefully we'll meet again soon. Chief says he'll meet you at the Dome in Enclave. Not the most convenient of locations, but it'll have to do, I'm afraid. One more thing. The Bozja incident is something of a sore spot for the Chief. Even if it was an accident, most people outside the Empire remember it as a massacre. The Chief tried to put a stop to his father's experiments, but his pleas fell on deaf ears. Even now, he still blames himself for it all. I should have tried harder, he'd say. I could have saved him. I could have saved all of them. All that genius, and the man can't find a way to forgive himself. So if you're aiming to go digging through his past, be careful. I dread to think what demons he's got locked away in that brain of his. Alright, so let's see if we can wrap up this quest because it's getting a bit long. She's tough as Magitech armor plating when she wants to be, but her heart's in the right place. A shame she's always so busy. As are you, if I'm not mistaken. I won't keep you any longer. Best of luck. Alright, so that looks like it's the end for this quest. Thank goodness, it was getting a bit long there. So we will call it a day for right now. So the next quest is called the Bozja Incident. Bet we'll save that for the next quest. Anyway, until next time everyone, this is Claire signing out.